What's up, everybody? It's Tyler from Dirt Road Country, and I have a great guest down here with me. She is getting ready to drop her debut single. It's called Prayer Requests. I have Emmy Moyen on here. Emmy, it is a pleasure. How is it going?
Good. How are you? Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be on here and do this.
Absolutely. I also failed to mention that you're the pride of Starkville, Mississippi, a great college town in the SEC. So
I
thanks
do
for
love
joining.
Starkville. Yeah, of course. I'm all about SEC. So happy to be here with a fellow SEC person.
They call Starkville the other Bulldogs, but
I call UGA the other Bulldogs. So
oh, no, that's what makes it fun. Well, anyway, you got your debut single coming out called Prayer Requests. First off, congratulations. And second, what is it about?
Yes. Well, like you said, I'm from Starkville, Mississippi, very small town. So in small towns, people like to talk a lot, and it's just kind of poking some fun at the ways in word gets around in small towns. And I love storytelling songs. So this was just a way for me to tell a story and kind of introduce myself and my music as just, this is where I'm from. This is what I've learned, and I hope to bring you some joy and happiness through what I'm passionate about. So,
I love that.
yeah.
So you're currently at Belmont University up in Nashville. And
Yes.
I know there's a whole process that goes into making this music and doing the whole student thing full time. Well, what has this whole process been like for you going through this journey, going from Starkville to Nashville and being in the whole big music school at Belmont?
Yes. Well, I always knew I wanted to do country music. So I was like, how do I get to Nashville? And so that's when I found Belmont, and they have a wonderful songwriting and music business program here. And so I moved to Nashville in August of 2022 and just kind of dove in, not really knowing how to get my foot in the door, not knowing how to, get these Belmont connections and translate them into relationships in Nashville. And then just slowly you kind of just learn, and you watch people and you observe, oh, this works, oh, this doesn't work. And I feel like having one foot in Nashville and one foot in Belmont, obviously Belmont is the perfect location in, the middle of Music City. So it's been really, really great to be able to take classes here and learn about the music industry, develop connections here with professors and other students, and then eventually have that translate into Nashville and just getting on the ground running.
Now, for you being at the school and everything, I feel like something you just said was learning how to get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
And with someone like me that runs this page and just watches everything grow on social media, I feel like you got your foot in the door pretty well with what you've been doing on your platform. And on your personal account, you've been posting covers for like
Yes.
at least the last year that I've seen.
Quite a
And
lot.
you're just pumping out the content, cover after cover after cover, and now you got new first song coming out soon. These covers just continue to do well, and I know I'm yapping about this, but what I'm getting at is that I feel like the peak for covers was during COVID, and when
Mhm.
everybody was locked up at home, all these views were popping off for all these artists, and everybody was getting signed. Well, here you are in 2024, and your covers just, I feel like it's one after the next, just keeps getting great views and lots of good coverage. So, what has it been like
Yeah.
to just keep putting cover after cover out and all these things and getting ready to put out your original music? And
Right.
uh, yeah, just watching them grow. Sorry,
Yeah.
that was a mouthful of a question. I apologize.
No, it's a great question. I think, yes, with COVID, covers were super popular on social media. For me in COVID, all that spare time was really when I fell in love with songwriting. And so looking back, I probably should have been more involved in social media than I was, than I am now. But I was so just in this songwriting kick. I was like, what is that? I'd messed with it, but I really dove in deep during COVID. So I spent like pretty much all my time just doing that and honing in on a songwriting craft. And I started posting about a year and a half ago. And I knew that the goal was to release original music eventually, but at this point I was like, I need an audience to release those songs to. And so social media to me was the quickest and most effective way to do that. Just build an audience quickly who hopefully would stay around when I make the switch to original music. So I started posting covers. I did a lot of rewrites where I would just take a song and write it with the same melody from a different perspective, trying to kind of get the audience. I overthink things way too much, but I try to be strategic about everything that I do, and getting this audience to hear my covers and then saying, oh, she writes. And then maybe when I start posting, original music, they would kind of latch onto that. And so I thought, I don't think it's going to hurt me to post these videos. It might reach the right people, and it's really fun to get the to see some traction coming from that. But it's also good to view it as like this is part of my job. This is kind of keeping social media as a professional thing. I think helps in a lot of ways, just mentally and emotionally. But being very invested in it and knowing how to go about it strategically has really helped me out. And I'm very thankful for kind of the attention that some of the videos have gotten.
Well, I think you're on the right path here, and I just think you're doing it right. So good job with that. And
Thank you.
all this starts though with an inspiration. How did you initially get into country music? And who were some of those biggest influences that really got you listening to it and wanting to do it for a living?
Yes. So great question. So I'm from Starkville, but I was born in Lexington, Kentucky. We have a lot of family in Kentucky. And so I have a lot of bluegrass influence there. Like I remember growing up, just family playing a bunch of bluegrass music, and they would form they would form bluegrass bands or sing in churches and that sort of thing. So music was always a huge part of my life, like just around family. And so I loved it from the get go. My dad was like a drummer in high school, and so I was always surrounded by it. And I honestly, the first song I think I remember hearing that wasn't like Veggie Tales was Taylor Swift and her debut album. And I just thought she's this young girl and she's got this country sound, but she's got so much energy on stage. And I thought that was so cool. I was just infatuated with, oh, you can make this your career and you can chase after it. And I love to sing. And I was like, that's what I'm doing. And so I don't remember a time that I was like, oh, I've always wanted to pursue country music, and I didn't know what that was going to look like. And that was probably a little bit naive of me, but I was like, this is what I feel like I'm supposed to do. I think we're all called to something. And I just felt so much peace about pursuing this career. And so I think early on, some of those influences like Taylor Swift, early Miranda Lambert, a lot of bluegrass, a lot of, Patti Loveless and Ricky Skaggs and Alison Krauss, and just these people that made me fall in love with music and the art of emotion in music. And I couldn't let go of it. It was what I loved most, and it always was a huge part of my life. And so, making it kind of the biggest part of my, right now, it's what I spend most of my time doing, was an easy decision for me. It was like, this is what I love, so let's do it.
Well, it's easy to say that you have great taste in music, and I'm sure that's going to follow over into this debut single that's coming out. Now, before we go, I have an on-the-spot question for you. If you could use one sentence as a pitch to get fans to listen to your first single coming out, what would it be?
Okay, yeah, I like that. Let me think. I would say like a little Southern Belle, a little Raisin Hill, like a little bit of like small town, deep South Southern charm, a little bit of like, I like to have a good time. And I hope that this song, is surrounded by memories that people are making and gives them a good laugh, but also there's some truth to it. So I think that I hope it comes across as lighthearted and fun and just something a little bit different. I wanted my sound to have elements of all these influences, of this bluegrass influence, of this kind of alternative influence that my dad grew up playing tons of rock and alternative music for me. So just like making a sound that's like, oh, that's a little bit different, and I hope that that comes through and that people can resonate.
Well, I love that description. And folks, if you don't already follow Emmy on Instagram and the rest of her social media platforms, go do it now. Uh, if the pre-save link is out there, go pre-save prayer requests right now. You could
Pre-save
find
link
it.
is
Yeah.
out there.
Yes, you could probably find it in Emmy's bio. Emmy, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Have a great day, and thanks for just spending a little time together.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys next time.